Shana Tova. This is my paternal grandmother and me. Madeline was her name. Many called her Maida. To me, she was Grandma. Her name was really Miriam. That's a sermon for another time. I know you must be able to tell that we are possibly related. My grandmother was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her parents emigrated to the United States from Russia and the Pale with the great wave of migration of the early 20th century. My grandma, though, had to become an adult much too soon. Her mother died in childbirth with her younger brother, who only survived a short time after. For a long time, it was just Madeline and her dad, Harry. Harry was in the grocery supply business. Family legend tells that Madeline learned to drive pretty early and help with the business when she was finished with school. At school, she excelled and she loved sports. It was told Madeline was driving the grocery delivery truck when she stopped in a grocery store in Donora, a Pittsburgh suburb, one day and met the son of a grocery owner. He would become my grandfather, Robert. My grandmother would go on to raise 4 sons, co-own and operate a company with my great-uncle and grandfather, volunteer with her synagogue and Hadassah, among many other pursuits. Lest you think my grandma fit any stereotype, she was known to set a beautiful table and as a capable hostess, and no one has ever told me of anything she ever made, baked, that tasted good. There are incredible stories of takeout being served elegantly on silver platters, the guests never the wiser. I have no memory of anything she ever cooked or baked for me. Some would say I am lucky. And honestly, it did not matter, because I do remember being loved beyond words, reading stories together. 2 of our favorites were The Pokey Little Puppy and The Little Engine That Could, singing songs in the car together from her childhood, celebrating Jewish holidays, fostering my curiosity and love of travel, and so much joy. My grandma was also the first person I knew with a food allergy, chocolate. This meant in the pantry, where one might hope to find a piece of chocolate, carob was everywhere. I vividly recall carob-covered raisins, carob-covered almonds, carob chips, carob-covered everything where chocolate should be. To this day, when I taste carob, I am transported back to my grandma's presence. And as an adult, I've come to understand there is no more fitting taste or flavor to associate with my grandma than carob. There is a story from the Talmud about Honi HaMe'agel, Honi the circle maker. It's taught, one day Honi the circle maker was walking along the road and he saw a man planting a carob tree. Honi said to him, "This tree, how long is it going to take to bear fruit?" The man said, "It will not produce fruit until 70 years have passed." Honi said to him, "It's obvious you're not going to live 70 years. Who do you think is going to benefit from this tree?" The man said to Honi, "I found a world full of carob trees. Just as my ancestors planted for me, I too am planting for my descendants." Honi sat and ate some bread. Sleep overcame him, and he slept a deep sleep. A cliff formed around him, and he disappeared from sight and slept for 70 years. When he awoke, he saw a certain man gathering carobs from that very same tree. Honi said to him, "Are you the one who planted this tree?" And the man said, "I am his son's son, his grandson." Honi teaches us that right now we are living lives rich and full, and we have to think about our legacies for our direct relations. for the communities we serve, and for our world. When we plant seeds, make decisions, steward the earth, and anticipate the needs of our inheritors, we are building the foundation for the future of our descendants, those we know and those we can only dream about. Today, as we worship on this Rosh Hashanah and reflect upon who we are as a result of the choices of our past, we fundamentally believe, we know that we are capable of transformation, of being even better than we were for our future. We are planting seeds. I don't know whether my grandmother knew this Talmudic passage. I do know that she embodied the teaching of this text. As her heir, I know that her desire for her legacy, her essence, the value she held most dear to continue on to the next generation after her. For my grandmother, that was ensuring our family worked through disagreement and potential division to support and love one another. The Jewish value of mishpacha, family, was most important. That my dad and his brothers and their children's lives would be deeply rooted with one another because of the tending and love my grandparents sown. As this picture from this summer can attest, we learn from my grandmother this value, and we honor her memory every time we are together, even if we're not eating carob. One way that we can ensure our legacy is to prepare an ethical will. An ethical will is a document of one's values, beliefs, and wishes. The process of articulating what one cares about most in life, reflecting on personal experiences, and thinking about one's decisions make it possible to learn more about oneself. In this way, an ethical will can be used as a tool for self-reflection, of cheshbon hanefesh, accounting for our soul. The first ethical wills are found in the Bible, where Jacob is described gathering his children around his bedside to tell them how they should live after he is gone. The Apocrypha, the Talmud, medieval and modern Jewish literature all contain examples of ethical wills left by parents to their children. On the dawn of this new year, Rosh Hashanah, as we sit together here in this sanctuary, we must take the opportunity to look back on our actions and into the future to our legacy. Who are we? How are we engaging with other people, with our family, with our communities, with our world? Who will we be? How will we be? A few moments ago, we recited a prayer called Unatana Tokef. The essential message of this prayer is that we cannot know what tomorrow will bring. There are some things outside of our locus of control, and the things that we can control, the tangible things that we can do, are teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah, repentance, prayer, and charity. And we can manage our legacy. We can plant seeds and saplings for our descendants with an ethical will. In a few weeks, we'll have opportunity to learn together how to do this. Watch your email for a forthcoming learning opportunity. As a country, we too have a legacy to maintain and build upon. The year 5786 will be the Jewish year that we will observe the semi-quincentennial of the United States of America. July 4th, 2026 will be 250 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. In these 250 years since the creation of this democratic republic, there has been tremendous evolution and revolution. The foundation of our country, initially described in aspirational terms in the Declaration and subsequently codified into action in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, created a framework by which a system of checks and balances, a representative democracy, a republic could thrive. Whether those who declared independence and the framers of the Constitution understood it, they were also creating a system of government that, according to scholar Yoel bin Nun, is closest aligned with the principles and statutes of Torah. Ben Nun writes, "The democratic take on government in which there is no all-powerful human actor, in which power is divided among different authorities, and there is no single personality who can be identified with the government, either in whole or in part. This is the system that is closer than all other systems and all other models of the determination on governance, that is correct from the point of view of the Torah. It is a resolution that is suitable and desirable because it strikes a balance between human sovereignty and the sovereignty of heaven. This democratic system seems to be in a precarious position in our country and around the world. This may be dangerous for all people, including Jews. There is clear evidence that when democracy decreases, anti-Semitism increases. If history is our teacher, we know a healthy democracy is the best environment for thriving Jewish life. And in order to ensure the legacy of this democracy for our children and grandchildren, we must do everything within our power, from the ballot box to the patriotism we can show in the streets, as adherence to the shared values that make this country strong. This is how we will ensure these truths remain self-evident and part of the enduring legacy of the United States. It is with courage and conviction, with our eyes wide open to the threats from the extremes, that we build upon the best possible legacy for our country. As we continue to build this nation, we also sit among a vital means of legacy building, our community institutions, our synagogue. 25 years ago, a group of thoughtful, devoted, and determined people created Temple Beth Shalom. As our first president, Don Copeland, wrote in a document about the early history of the congregation, the group of founders of this congregation understood that 80% of the Austin Jewish community of 2000 was unaffiliated, and Austin was the second fastest growing Jewish community in the country. That was in the year 2000. These many years later, we sit here in our sacred space on our Dell Jewish Community Campus and offer our gratitude to those who are here who planted these seeds of Temple Beth Shalom, all of those who joined and tended to this precious community, all of us who ensure that this sacred community will be here for us, for our children, and for our grandchildren. This is a community where we strive to live by our values articulated in our mission and vision statement. They are inclusive service to all, leadership with integrity, ruach, spirit, menschful membership, lifelong learning, acts of loving kindness, tikkun olam, and Israel. We are in a community that does not agree uniformly on every decision, nor do we walk about the world with rose-colored glasses. Temple Beth Shalom is a congregation where the best interests of the entire congregation take precedence, and it always will be. It was and it is about each and every one of us. The lay leadership and the clergy and the staff work together. When we disagree, we do so with compassion and dignity and criticize ideas and not individuals. The legacy of Temple Beth Shalom is one based upon our shared values, capable and dedicated leadership, authenticity, and kindness. This past year, our congregation was challenged in ways that were painful to many of us. It was so hard. Many of us are bruised, and our congregation needs healing. Our lay leaders, our staff, many of you. We are so fortunate that the new year is here for us, for our healing, for our present and future, for our shared values, for our congregation, for hope and faith in one another and in God. We carry the legacy of those folks who chartered this congregation, who understood they were planting seeds and saplings for an Austin Jewish community that has grown beyond their wildest expectations. And with your help, our community will continue to grow beyond our wildest expectations. We must tend to this garden of Temple Beth Shalom and continue to plant for the future. In celebration of our congregation's 25th year, we are launching a Legacy Builders campaign, an opportunity for any individual and family to include Temple Beth Shalom in their estate, will, or trust, in order to sustain our sacred home long into the future. Thank you to those who are already legacy builders. I promise there will be innumerable opportunities to learn more how you can become a legacy builder in the days and weeks ahead. I told you at the beginning that one of my favorite memories with my grandma is that we read together. And I take a lesson from that special book that we shared, The Little Engine That Could. Our congregation is that engine. It is the engine of Jewish joy. It is the engine of hope. It is the engine of love and holiness. It is the engine of Jewish learning and Jewish music. And together, we can do it. I think we can. I think we can. I think we can. I know we can. The prophet Isaiah foretold, Ki kamei ha'etz yamei ami. For the days of my people shall be as long as the days of a tree. Chazak ve'amatz. May we be strong. May we be strengthened. May we plant seeds and saplings of hope for our future together. May we all be written in the book of life and goodness in this new year. Shana Tova Tikatevu.